Alright, what's going on everybody on YouTube? Griffin and I coming back to you guys with another Sunday, Stock Wash Sunday live stream. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend and are having a good weekend. Weekend's not over yet, definitely don't want to rush that of course. But first and foremost, if you're new to the channel, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button below. We'd love to have you here, always looking to add more members to this community. And definitely consider joining our Discord group chat. That's one of the first links in the description box as well. But first and foremost, want to thank everyone, of course, for tuning in. That'll be tuning in today, and for anyone that'll see this video in the near future. So first and foremost, the first stock ETF technically that I'm going to hit on is XOP. This is more for you options traders, and especially those of you that are looking to get into iron condors and are just wondering maybe how to set the quote-unquote perfect iron condor up. There's never no such thing as a perfect trade at the end of the day, but maybe you're just looking to get into an iron condor and wondering what would be kind of the safest way to go. So I kind of like using XOP. I'm gonna expand this out if I can remember how to do so. There we go, extend to the right. So you can see lately for about how many months? About 5 months now, we've kind of been in this tight range with XOP. It's came down a few times under 40 bucks, but for the most part it stays, let's even say 39 the range, because it's pretty much right on 40 right now, so it could easily dip tomorrow. I think personally, however, that oil is probably going to bounce back tomorrow, and you'll probably see XOP somewhere around like 40, 50 to $41. But anyways, what does this mean for you as a iron condor or options trader? So we've obviously been in this range for over 4 or 5 months now, which is definitely a very good side, just horizontal pattern between the ranges of 40 to around $44, $45. So let's say you wanted to go ahead and set up, and I'm going to do it on my phone just to make it quick and simple, and I'll just show you guys like the costs and whatnot, because if I started having too many programs going on at once, it would kind of hinder the quality of the stream more than likely. So let's say I wanted to do a iron condor on XOP. I'm gonna go to my iron condor, just do a normal one, and I'm going to go to, let's just say 26 days out. They set one up for me. So like I said, around $40, so I'm gonna sell a $39.50 call and then buy the $39 call. I can get it right. There we go. Stop coming down. And then on my call side, I mean puts, I sold a $39.50 put and bought the $39.50 put. And then like I said, since we know our range is around 44, I'm going to go ahead and do 45 to be safe. Rather safe than sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and buy the 45 call, and then I'll sell the 44.50 call. So you have your iron condor, your range is pretty much around $39.50 to $44.50, which to me is more than enough for a 26-day range. Obviously, if the trade decides to go wrong, you could always just cover what little profit you have early. Let's just actually, to make this a little bit more safe, since we're already right around 40, I'm gonna go ahead and lower it a little bit more. I'm gonna buy the 38 call, and then I'm gonna sell the 38.50. So the credit you would receive would be around $17, and your max loss is 33. So again, you have a potential profit after your $4.54 of commissions of what, roughly 40% return in a 26-day window if you held it all the way to expiration, and as long as it just traded between around $38 and $44 to $45, pretty much you have a $6 range that we already identified from months now. 5 months it's been trading in this range. Does that mean it's going to stay here? No, obviously it could just fall off a cliff and go back to 30 for all we know, but just going based off of, again, the recent pattern of 5 months now, we have a pretty good feeling that XOP is going to stay between $38 and $44 to $45. So as long as it stayed within that range for 26 days, you would make roughly 40 to 50% profit on that money, and you're only having to put up $33 to get that return, versus say you wanted to for some reason buy XOP1, you're going to have a very slim to, let's be real, probably no chance on getting a 40% return in 3 weeks, versus you're putting up $33, so you're putting up less money for that Iron Condor, and you're going to see a bigger return by far. Because to put in perspective, the only way you would get a, after commissions, would be around a $12, $13 return, would be if obviously XOP suddenly jumped up to $52 to $53 per share, and actually you needed to go up more, because again, those commissions, unless if of course you're using Robinhood to invest, either way, at the minimum, it has to go to around $52 to $53 a share, which obviously is not going to happen in 3 weeks, which is why I like trading options, especially Iron Condors, more than buying stock by far. Are there cases where, yeah, you might want to consider buying stock? Yeah, especially if you're into playing the whole earnings games or the dividend game, anything like that. But for the most part, the just safest and to get safe, consistent returns, I like the Iron Condors personally, and I'll probably be putting one on. I'll probably just do one this week. I'll probably just put a Iron Condor, this exact one, in all honesty, on XOP. You guys can see it right here. The potential for profit 66%, which is very good if you held it all the way. If you held it for 50%, your potential for, like if you held it for 13 days, your potential for profit is 73%. So, I mean, that's a very good chance on profit if you ask me. So, that's the one that I'll probably end up buying. It's only going to reduce my buying power by, I believe, just the $33. Or $37.54, like I said, after those commissions. So you only need $38 to do that trade, and to get essentially $17 off of $37.54 is pretty good if you ask me. So that is my Iron Condor for the day, is XOP. I've kind of mentioned it a few times. It's just almost, it's probably one of the most safest ones if you ask me. Obviously oil could just drop off a cliff, but I don't really see that necessarily happening in the near future. I do think over the next month, oil will probably slide a little bit and retest $64 to $65, which we're not even that far off from, obviously. But obviously we got travel season coming up next month with Thanksgiving, and then right after that you got Christmas. So I mean, unless if it does something here within the next 2 to 3 weeks, it's probably realistically not going to go under $65 per barrel, which for XOP would obviously mean you're probably not going under around $38 to $39. So that's why I went ahead and lowered that to like 38, because I know that's probably the lowest it's going to go. And like I said, I mean, 66 to 75% chance of profit is a very good chance of profit. Obviously, there's always some risk. How's it going, Josh? Good afternoon. There's always going to be some risk, but I'll take 66 to 75%. That means for every position like that I placed, 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 4 are winners. So I'll take those chances any day of the week for sure. And again, you got to think about the rate of return. 40 to 50% rate of return. You're not going to get that in a 3-week period with that good of chance of that rate of return. You just got to do the basic math at the end of the day. But so I wanted to check out SPY, because I noticed, and I don't have it set up here, that's the one indicator I have not put on this chart yet. It was on my phone. Let me pull up my phone, because I always forget the actual name of the indicator. I knew I was missing something. I was like, man, what the hell? Because I have the, forget the name of this line. Let me see. Let me just go to Thinkorswim really quick. See my charts. And see what studies I have going. So I need the momentum, or no, simple moving average. That's the one I need to add still. So we go over here and simple moving average. There we go. Apply. and I need to edit it because I do not like that color. I like mine to be more of a green, personally, not blue. I think it's this one, so we'll go ahead and do that. So if you don't know how to do that on Thinkorswim, you just learned how to change your colors, but there we go. Alright, so I was wanting to look at the 180 day, I believe, or no, the 3-year. 3-year, 1 week. So we zoom in here. So you can see we definitely still have a lot of, I need to clean all this up because we've obviously broke all of these supports. Let's just remove all old drawings. Just get rid of all of them. Move them all. Remove. There. Okay. Anyways, so you see we definitely have a lot of room that we could potentially gap up if you're going by our 3-year chart. Do I think that's necessarily going to happen? No. I actually think that our max pain is probably still going to be around 270. I think we're going to retest that low before we potentially leg up higher. You can see on our week chart that we're just now really starting to get into the heart of quote-unquote selling. So if, of course, you're going by your indicators and everything, I mean, obviously our RSI is pretty decent. We could, by all means, like I say, gap up to 280 this week, 280, 285. But I personally think that we're probably going to retest those lows, those 270 lows. Either we're going to break them and continue to go down, or we're going to bounce somewhere around 270 to 273 and then maybe go ahead and get on out of it, because now we're in the full swing of earnings and everything. It could just really go either way right now, but it's definitely some shaky times right now. But it is October after all. I mean, we still got, what, almost 2 weeks of October left. We know October is historically one of the most, actually the most volatile month of the year. So this week is definitely going to be an interesting week. I'm going to watch just you can see each day we keep getting rejected by our simple moving average. So it's going to be interesting to see this week if we can actually break above it and hold above it, or again, are we just going to keep going down, and are we going to ultimately retest 270 to 273? It'll be interesting to see. I personally think this week we're probably going to retest 270 to 273, and either it's going to hold or it's going to break, and if it breaks, then who knows how far it's going to go down after that. But I think that ultimately, personally, I think we're going to bounce at or above the 270 mark, 270 to 273, like I said, before we continue to leg up. But I mean, there's a lot going on in this market right now, a lot of geopolitical crap, obviously. So it's ultimately a toss-up at the end of the day, but it does look a lot like back in February. Am I saying that we're going to go clear down to 250? No, but I did mention in Discord at the same time, I would not be surprised if by the end of the month we're looking at 252 again. So you can call me crazy, but like I said, I don't think it's going to happen, but at the same time, I would not be surprised. I still think we're going to bounce at or above 270. But if we don't, if we continue to just get rejected by the SMA, especially on the 1-year chart, then, I mean, just be careful. Don't get, this is not the time to have huge positions, I would say. Like, don't be going in super deep on certain stocks. I mean, it's still a stock picker's market right now. I mean, there's tons of stuff on sale, like SQ is still on sale. A lot of the tech is still on sale. But it's definitely a time where you don't necessarily want to just go all in on your entire account, because you could definitely blow up that account for sure. And especially with options, if you're more into options, definitely be careful. If you're gonna buy some calls, go ahead and buy some puts to kind of just hedge your position. Or again, do the safest route and do an iron condor or something when all else fails. But it's definitely going to be an interesting week. I think this week is probably the biggest week of, as of now, probably the remainder of the year. But for sure, for the rest of the month, I mean, it's the the next few days here are going to be very, very, very vital for sure for the overall markets. But let me check our stream really quick, just to make sure. Still got 2 of you tuning in. Good stuff. But like I always say, if there's any questions or ticker symbols you want me to take a look at, definitely let me know. I want to take a look at SQ because I actually did not check on it at all this week. So it was down 1% overall on Friday. What day was this? Was this last week? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you did listen, I think it was last Sunday that we were mentioning Square. If you did listen, you probably made a little bit of money last week on SQ, but look what happened to it too. It also got rejected by that 1-year SMA. So a lot of tech is getting just hits. Obviously the last, 2 weeks now, 3 weeks now, tech's just been getting slammed, right? SQ is still almost close to, 25% off of its all-time high. It's got earnings coming out though, so that's going to be an interesting one to watch. That's going to be in, about 2.5 weeks or so. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens. I have a feeling that their earnings are going to be really good personally, and that is why, like I said, overall I'm not too bearish on the market. I think at the end of the day, S&P, SPY, whatever, SPY is going to bounce around 270 or higher, because I think once the tech earnings really start vamping up, I think Amazon, if I remember right, did they just have theirs this last week? Or no? They're having theirs this week. So it's going to be really interesting once tech really starts getting underway with their reports. I think that is ultimately what's going to bring this market back up, because I don't really see anything that makes me worried about tech earnings. I mean, I think Amazon, Square, maybe even Twitter, maybe even Snap, of all of them, will blow earnings out of the water. Facebook, I don't know when Facebook says, but they're coming up too here in the next week, it looks like, next week or two. I think their earnings are probably, this might be a decent time to buy Facebook in all honesty. We're still around that 150 support. You might want to catch it right around 150. I think it's probably going to come back down near 150 this week leading up to the earnings, and I think the earnings, in my opinion, are going to blow. I think the earnings are going to blow the doors off expectations personally. Like I said, I think earnings season is what's going to keep this market from going down ultimately. Personally, AMD, I think their earnings, I don't know about their earnings in all honesty. I think their earnings along with MU could crush them and bring them back down to reality, especially AMD. I think AMD's coming back down to $10 to $15 personally, just based off of everything that's happened with them in the past. Just go look at the 3-year, 10-year, 20, whatever year amount of charts you want to look at. Every time AMD pops up over $20, $30, it comes crashing back down to under $10 every single time. So if people are still holding, whatever, I mean, you're dumb. It's just look at the history. I mean, people can say history doesn't repeat itself, but it always does. MU as well, that's one to be careful of. I don't think their earnings isn't, they got a while. But I look for MU to continue to slide down under $40. I think ultimately it settles around 35 before all is said and done. But how was their last earnings anyways? Yeah, they missed on earnings as well. So it'll be interesting to see though what happens with the chips. I think tech though overall is going to be very good. Chips though, not so much. Let's look at GrubHub. I think GrubHub, their earnings is, we're in the full swing of earnings season now. Like I said, I think earnings are ultimately what's going to keep this market up, and that's why I think it's a good time to just kind of evaluate your portfolio, and kind of maybe if you're in some of the things that are actually up, you might want to consider pulling out of some of those positions, like a AMD. If you've been holding AMD since $10 and you're still holding it, like I said, just cover that profit if nothing else. Cover that profit and shift it somewhere else where you know they're probably going to have really good earnings, like a GrubHub, like a Amazon, like a, what else, like a Facebook, like a Apple. Apple's earnings, they're coming up here in about a week or two too, or about, 2 weeks is when they're coming up. Shift it over to one of those that you know, one, two, you're gonna get that dividend too, of course, if you go into something like Apple, and two, you're just playing it more safe, because even though I personally feel like earnings are what's going to catapult the market back up to a new high, it doesn't mean it's going to happen. So you still kind of want to play it safe, kind of maybe reallocate some of your money, have a little bit more in cash in case if the market does continue to go down, you'll be able to scoop up and catch even more deals. So that's kind of my 2 cents on just how the market overall is doing right now. I think this week is a really big week. I think we need some really good earnings from who else? Amazon, Facebook, all those that are reporting this week. I think we need really good earnings from those. If the earnings are not good, which there's no reason for them to not be, but if the earnings are not good, we could really, I'm pretty serious. I think that SPY could ultimately test 250, 260 if we have horrible earnings from all these tech companies. But it'll be interesting to see what happens for sure. Coke, theirs is coming out too here in the next week and a half. So it'll definitely be just interesting overall, just see how the earnings. I'm watching tech earnings more than everything, but I'm also watching like your Home Depot and all that as well. Home Depot's really came off its high. Theirs isn't until November though, if I remember right. Yeah, November 13th, so that's still a few weeks out. So it'll be interesting to see what happens for sure. But like I said, for me personally, I'm just keeping my money safe. I'm just, call it boring, call it slow. I call it what's that old saying? The tortoise always beats the hare in the race. I would rather take a slow, boring position like a 2 to 3 week Iron Condor and XOP, put up only 30-40 bucks per position, and collect a juicy premium, and hopefully ultimately collect 25 to 40% profit by holding those over time. It's boring, but it works. Like, why look for that just knockout, slam dunk, 100% return on calls or puts? It's awesome. Like, I know a lot of you guys lately have been playing puts on SPY because, as you all see, it just keeps getting rejected over and over. I would just literally, if you're able to sit at your laptop or whatever you use, phone, laptop, whatever, I would just pull up your 1 year chart and just watch it, and if it looks like it's going to get rejected again, go ahead and place your puts and make that money. But I know a lot of people have only a limited amount of day trades they can use, and I'm going to always bring up Iron Condors in almost every single video, because Iron Condors, they can ultimately be a way of passive income for people, because once you start trading with, say, even a $10,000 account, say you let's say you only wanted to use a quarter of your account on, say, that XOP Iron Condor I mentioned. So let's say you had $2,500 that you were going to put on that position, divided that by, what did I say, it was like $35 pretty much after fees and everything for each Iron Condor. So you're looking at 71 total positions that you would have, roughly. Let's just say 70 to keep it low. So let's say you had 70, and let's say you didn't even hold it for the long term where you get your $17 of profit. Let's say you cut it short, and let's say you just collected $12. So you held it for probably just over half of the total time. So let's say you collected, or let's even lowball and say 10. Let's say you only collected $10. So you just made roughly $700 of profit in about 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, sorry. So you can see how, and again, that was just a $2,500 position. Now let's say you did it again with like 5,000. All you do is multiply that by 2, and you're looking at $1,400 of profit in just under a month, essentially. And then so on and so on. You can keep multiplying it by however much money you ultimately want to put in that. Obviously, I wouldn't suggest, like I say, don't ever go all in on one position or anything like that. But you can see how once you start just slowly but surely keep building up that account, what does Warren Buffett always say? Rule number 1, don't lose money. Rule number 2, don't forget rule number 1, essentially. So, it might be boring. It might just, like I said, it's the ideal situation for anyone that cannot just stay at their laptop 24/7, can't look at their phone 24/7, because ultimately all you need to do is check on it maybe a couple times a day just to make sure, like say this XOP one, I would have oil pulled up more than XOP, because watching oil futures would pretty much tell me straight up what's about to happen with XOP, right? So if I see oil is just starting to take a dump, and my trade's starting to go south, I'll just go ahead and cover my 2%, 5%, whatever percent amount of profit, as long as it covers the commission fees and everything, of course, at the minimum, and then move on, and then hopefully set myself up with another iron condor somewhere else. But at the end of the day, the iron condor, it can be one of the most boring positions ever, but it works time and time and time again. If I can make 20% every 2 weeks, something like that, 20% every 2 weeks, or 30-40% a month, I mean, you're destroying what the average, not only what the average trader does, but what the market obviously indexes and everything return for sure, because it's just pathetic. The average is like 8 to 12%. So I mean, that's just something to bear in your mind whenever you're taking positions such as just calls and puts. I'm not saying those aren't good positions to take, just obviously they're a lot more risky, and a lot of times people end up, I can speak from experience, a lot of times people end up canceling out their profits because you end up getting too cocky and taking too big of a position on a call or a put, and then before you know it, pretty much everything you'd worked a week or two to gain can be erased in a matter of days. So just keep that in mind. Like I said, I know it can be boring, but sometimes boring is the way to go at the end of the day, especially when you're looking to make this a full-time job or a career ultimately. And I would definitely, like I said, suggest you guys go check out Tasty Trades YouTube channel. They have a lot of like option traders who, I mean, they just keep it plain and simple. And there was a guy who had like 150% return or something like that last year in 2017, I believe, or 2016, one of the two. And then the next year he had like an 80% return. So I mean, it's out there. People are making this kind of money just doing standard iron condors, vertical spreads, all that stuff. So definitely start checking them out. And who knows, maybe as this channel and this community grows bigger, hopefully I'll like get some inquiries, some emails from you guys, and maybe I can like interview some of you guys sometime. That'd be awesome too. But I thought that was all I was going to say about iron condors, but I ended up bringing it back up. But yeah, like I said, that's pretty much the only position I'm going to be taking this week. It's probably just a little iron condor on XOP. I have to get the money transferred over to Tastyworks, of course, because I just pulled it out of Robinhood. It just went into my account over the weekend, so I'm going to have to initiate a transfer or whatever to Tastyworks. That's probably going to take, if I remember right, 2 days is usually about what it takes me. And then I'll probably place an iron condor on XOP depending on where it's at the time that I have that money available. So if there's no questions or any ticker symbols like that you guys want me to break down, then I guess I'll go ahead and start wrapping the stream up. I see we got like 4 of you tuning in. That's awesome. Awesome stuff. Like I said, if you're new to the channel and this is your first stream, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button below. We do streams like this at least twice a week at the minimum. Like I said, I do have a full-time job. It's requiring a lot of hours right now, but once I get out of the 5 to 7 window where I get off at like 3 to 5 every single day, I'll be doing a lot more regular, almost daily streams at that point, just to kind of give you guys a recap, my 2 cents on the market, and then ultimately just so we can chit-chat in the comments at the end of the day. And like I said, if you're new, there's also that group chat, Discord group chat. It's one of the first links in the description box. And if you don't know what Tastyworks or Tasty Trade is, I have a link for Tastyworks in the description box as well. It will show you like all how their commissions break down. They have a YouTube channel, Tasty Trade, and once you actually sign up with an account for Tastyworks, they actually have a live stream that they do like all the time, every market day, from like pretty much pre-market through the market day as far as I'm aware. So I mean, it's overall awesome platform, awesome guys, of course. But yeah, other than that, hopefully you guys did enjoy the stream. If you did, definitely make sure to smash that like button. I greatly appreciate that as always, and feel free to share it with any friends, coworkers, family, even anybody that's all about just achieving financial freedom and maybe looking to hop into the stock market. I mean, literally, I just proved to you guys that anyone can get in the stock market. I'm talking about taking a $35 to $40 position, and it's going to grow possibly to a $50, $60 position by the time I end up locking in all the profit and everything. So, I mean, you can literally start doing these options with $30, $40, $50. I mean, it doesn't take a lot of money whatsoever. Obviously, the more money you have, the more money you can make, but at the same time, that can be the more money you can lose at the same time. So I always suggest people to start out low, but obviously you don't want to start out so low that it just feels like, why am I even doing this? But just be careful at the end of the day. Just got home. Oh yeah, no big deal. I tried to, Jake, if I remember right, you're also in our Discord group chat. I tried to make sure that everyone knows it's in Discord. Like when I'm going live, like I'll try to give everybody like a 15-minute heads up or so. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna try at the minimum to do 2 a week right now, like Friday or Saturday type of stream, and then the Sunday one for sure. And then I'm gonna, at the minimum, try to have some sort of video come out. Like I said, I recorded one about just like my debt-free journey update, because I know I have a lot of people that are into that, so hopefully it'll motivate some of those people. That'll be coming out probably like Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm trying to pretty much at least have 3 videos, streams and videos up per week for you guys. So yeah, hopefully you'll be able to catch the next one for sure. But like I said, how many viewers do we even have now? Like 4 or 5 of you now? 5 of you tuning in? I mean, that's awesome for sure. But like I said, guys, if you did like the stream, definitely make sure to hit that like button so I know that I don't, like, if there's anything I need to change or anything you guys want me to hit on in these streams and videos and whatnot, definitely let me know. I mean, these videos at the end of the day are all about you guys. That's why I always say, if you have any ticker symbols, any questions, anything like that, just shoot them out there in the chat. That's why I have the chat loaded up. That's why I do these streams at the end of the day. It's just to communicate with you guys. So that's what it's all about at the end of the day. It's just helping each other out and giving different inputs. Once we get to the point where I'm trading full time again here in hopefully the next 1 to 2 years, and I'm doing it on YouTube again, I know that the chat will be lit up like it was back in April, May, whenever I was doing that. February, April, May, whenever we were doing that. That was fun stuff for sure. But like I said, hopefully you guys had a good weekend, and we'll have a good rest of your Sunday. Always got my Chiefs shirt on. We have a Sunday night game again, which I hate because I like to go to bed early on Sundays personally. But like I said, hopefully you guys did enjoy the stream. Hopefully, if you're not in Discord already, you'll check it out. Like I said, it's one of the first links in the description box. We've got like 30 to 40 of us in there now, so it's always awesome to just network with a bunch of like-minded individuals. But until next time, guys, keep on going out there, making those profits, covering your profits, and achieving some financial freedom this year. And I'll see you guys. Like I said, there'll be a video coming out probably Tuesday, Wednesday, and then hopefully I'll be able to do a stream sometime during the week, but if not, Friday, Saturday. I'll see you guys then. But take it easy, guys.